Oh, sorry. But I've got to say, for Suffolk County, note for the record, we have a quorum. And we will open it up for public comment. Do we have any members of the public who'd like to be heard at this time? Seeing none, I will close the public comment period and move into new business. Kelly, we have a company, Promotional Solutions.
Yes, we do. Really terrific local company. This is a company that has been in business since 1996. The project involves the purchase and renovation of an existing 39,947 square foot building. It's located at 145 Kennedy Drive in the Innovation Park at Hauppauge. That will serve as the company's headquarters. They're currently located in Farmingdale, where they have 52 jobs. So they'll be moving their entire building and all those employees into the Hauppauge Innovation Park. They are a leader in custom manufacturing. They specialize in printing, packaging, display, and gift items. And I'm going to invite them to come up to the table. I'm not sure who's coming. Jonathan wrote it by himself. You're making him do it all by himself. Okay. I had suggested they might want to bring some of the things that they manufacture, so that I know we always enjoy seeing the products that are made here in the county. So he has done that. I also want to mention that the benefits being offered to the company is a 10-year pilot. It's a standard 485B for us. The savings over the 10-year time period is $239,434, which is 27.5% savings on property taxes over that 10-year time period. We are also suggesting a sales tax exemption, which equals $11,644. A mortgage recording tax for the purchase of the building, which is a large investment for them, at $45,844. So the total savings for the company is $296,922. I would also like to note for the record that over the 10 years, they will be paying in taxes $631,236. So they are bringing 52 employees with them. They've committed to creating a minimum of 12 jobs, although they anticipate creating more than that. Bringing the total jobs of this particular entity to 64. And I'll let Jonathan talk much more in detail about his business than I certainly could. But I would like to note that they have close to 400 employees between all of the entities and the businesses that they have here in Suffolk County. So it's a very significant business for us. So I will turn it over to you, Jonathan.
Thank you. Thank you all for having me. Yes, we do have in excess of 400 people with all of our entities. This is not our first go around working with an IDA. I will say that with our other dealings with other IDAs, Babylon IDA in particular, we have always made conservative projections in terms of growth and new employees, and we've always exceeded those. We're a company that from inception has started out early on in 1996, outsourcing a lot, and everything we've done since then has been to bring it in-house. So we are more and more each year self-reliant on manufacturing, which creates jobs. We are, in the last 2 years, PPD&G, and by the way, we operate under the DBA PPD&G, so the corporate name is Promotional Solutions. But we utilize PPD&G, which is an acronym for Printing, Packaging, Displays, and Gifts. In the last 2 years, we became a member of EcoVadis, making a commitment to increasing our environmental friendliness as a manufacturer, reducing our carbon footprint, so on and so forth. We need more space to grow is the bottom line, to hire more staff, to have room for the machinery that we need to remain competitive. What we do is very niche, but very much in demand, and we sell to clients from local businesses all the way up to global businesses. We have clients that we will ship to Germany, Spain, UK. We have even produced jobs and shipped to Asia, which is unusual, but we've done it. And we're very industrious and entrepreneurial. We keep creating and doing more things. I actually brought some samples to show you guys. Not a lot in the printing world, but everything involves printing that we do. So even if it's a display or packaging, it needs to be printed to look nice. So this was a collector's box we did for a company, a local company called Body Armor. They're a energy drink company. I'm sure you guys have heard of Micropoli, started Vitamin Water and Smart Water, and recently sold Body Armor to Coca-Cola. And this was a commemorative box for Kobe Bryant. I could pass it around, but if you'd like to see, there was a collector's item that one of the drinks got housed in. I'm sure you guys have all heard how much money we're sending in aid to the Ukraine and Israel. Well, we are bringing some of that money from Israel back here. These two clients are an Israel-based company that we are doing display and packaging for. And to give you an idea, so we created not only the box that houses this display item, but also the display for them to elegantly show off their product. Okay, and this is made out of acrylic and completely fabricated and made in our facilities. Yeah, it is delicate, but please do. And this is a skincare company based out of Tel Aviv. And they sell their products primarily in the United States, and we are becoming a real important supplier for them.
Terrific.
Here's another. You'll have to excuse the creativity, but that was on the client's part. It's a little edgy, but it says, with great boobs comes great responsibility, because this is for a firming cream, and the item's not in the box, but basically it displays their product. So, and again, we not only create the displays, the packaging, but even the exterior shippers. So that gives you a better idea of the kind of things we do.
That has to be a first for the idea, right?
I knew everyone would get a kick out of that.
I don't think it has. Mr. Mayor's next quote.
Yeah, Jim's writing papers.
I know.
Jim, do you have your quote? See the headline now.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, make sure it's in quotation.
Remember, we're a family paper.
Yeah, thank you. Any questions from the board?
I have one. I'm looking over your list of employees. Currently, you have 52 that you're gonna put into this new facility, and you're
Yes.
gonna add 12.
Correct.
And there's a annual salary list of around 51,000 for your current 52. But yet the new employees that you're gonna bring on in the next 2 years are only listed at 38,000. So is there a
It's
reason
an
to explain?
average. Yeah. Wait, new employees are listed at what? I'm sorry?
New employees are listed at 38,000, so it's about a 12%, about 25% difference between existing employees and new employees.
Correct.
I just would like an understanding as to whether or not that's because it's a different jobs.
Most of the new employees that are gonna be coming in are gonna be coming in as factory workers. We already have a lot of new machines that we don't even have place to set up. They're literally being stored right now in our other facilities. And we need operators for those machines. We need people to become skilled at that, which we will train. And so those are entry-level positions that, as time goes on, these people will grow with the company, and so too their salaries or hourly wages will increase.
Okay, and on those salaries, do they include benefits or benefits?
We do offer benefits to all of our employees, yes. We offer health coverage and, yeah.
That are co-sponsored by you and the employee?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
You mentioned that you have other locations in Suffolk County, approximately 400 employees, is that right?
That's correct.
So what is that and where are they?
Okay, so we have a location on 45 Radbro and also on Nikon Court, which is right 100 yards away from that. So we are leasing about 110,000 square feet on Nikon for our other company, and we own, well, not outright, but we own 45 Radbro, which is about 63,000 square feet. It also would be beneficial for us as a company to have a hot location, because one of the things we considered, we looked in Eastern Pennsylvania, we even looked as far as Florida, we looked in New Jersey, where property is way less money and everything's less. There are challenges with that as well, but there's also benefits to being close to our other facilities, because we feed off each other.
Sarah, just real quick, so Kelly, 145 Kennedy Drive, where the company's looking to go, is that a facility that we've done anything with before in the past?
Not to my knowledge, it does not have a current IPA on it, but I didn't search, you know.
No, that's fine. And sir, you have a building that you're vacating for this, that the
In
company,
Farmingdale,
that the
yeah,
company owns, right?
that's correct.
And do you have any idea what that's gonna become?
It's still up in the air, but we may lease it out. It really depends. This would be a big bite for us to take, this 145 Kennedy. If we're in a position that we have to sell the building in Farmingdale, then that's what we do. But the company is strong, and the company has shown consistent growth over the last 27 years. I see nothing to show that that's going to change. In fact, I see the opposite. We're making a move to bring more manufacturing to the US and specifically to Long Island, which is where we are. And everything I'm seeing is showing that that's going in the right direction.
So I have a question. One of the county executive's priorities is renewable energy and solar specifically. And I know that Kelly facilitated a roundtable with some business leaders just last week or the week before around Suffolk County IDA creating possible enhancements for solar. Have you evaluated whether this building could be solar ready to add, solar panels or something on the roof?
So I'd be lying to you if I said I evaluated that, but I will tell you that it's very much of interest to our company to explore that. And if it is a viable option financially and feasibly, 100% open to it. And it makes us look great to our clients as well. Our clients want to know that we are doing our part, and we want to know that we're doing our part. We're scored by EcoVadis. We have a rating, and we need to get that rating better and better each year with a 5 and 10-year commitment to reducing our carbon footprint ultimately to zero. So this is certainly something that would be in that direction. In our current buildings, we moved all warehouse lighting from what it originally was to LED. We're certainly doing what we can, and PSEG certainly helped with that. Similar situation, if solar, if we receive assistance for converting to solar, and if it was feasible, we would be absolutely open and very interested in doing it.
Thank you.
Just a quick question. Kelly, is this building currently occupied?
145 Kennedy.
They sold it.
Right? No, they moved that.
Yeah, they moved out.
They moved out, okay.
Yeah.
Well, just another example, because the IDA over the years has helped revitalize
Yes.
HIA from its doldrum years where there was, people moving out left and right and nobody was occupying the buildings. It literally was a ghost town. But through the IDA grants over the years, we've been able to help pharmaceuticals and small businesses like yourself. I've reoccupied those buildings and become successful. So it is definitely in our best interest to try to move it and continue to.
We work like crazy, and it's stressful at times, but we love what we do. And I say that about everyone in my company. It's a business of passion. We create things that are very interesting, that people are in need of, because every company needs to stand out for their marketing. And that's what we do. We create unique items that help other companies market themselves in a better way.
Any more questions from the board? Okay. Seeing none, is there a motion to approve the initial inducement?
Motion.
Motion by Chris, seconded by Brian. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any noes or abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That was great.
Solar stuff is interesting. My company just a lot of feedback. It's easy.
On to old business, document processing. Fieldstone 2 at Comac.
Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Great.
So Fieldstone 2 at Comac, we had a public hearing. And no, I would say on Fieldstone, Ferncliff and 536, we had public hearing. We publicly noticed for 10 days. No comments were received to share with the board at the public hearing, and none have been received through email or direct mail on any of those projects.
Thank you. Great. So at Fieldstone 2 at Comac, you want to take that one by one?
Sure. So Fieldstone 2, we would request a final resolution for the lease transaction.
So I just have a question for the council, just to make sure that the town is in support of this.
Council
That would be.
Peter Kern, who is actually in attendance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mr. Kern?
Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, is the question from the chair was, is the board, or has the client made the town aware of the project, and are they in favor of the project?
They're through the site plan process already, so the town is aware of the project, and it's pretty much ready to go.
Great.
Terrific.
Great. And the local legislator is on board?
Yes.
Fantastic. Any questions, other questions from the board? Okay. Seeing none, is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Great, thank you, Brian. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any noes or abstentions? Great. It is approved. Thank you.
Thanks again to the board and the staff. Look forward to closing this.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.
You as well. Ferncliff Hotel.
Next, Ferncliff Hotel, and Dan Deegan is here as well, so if there are any questions with regards to Ferncliff, I'm sure he'd be happy to answer them. We, again, received no public comments with regards to the public hearing.
Great, just same question, is the town supportive and the local legislator?
Yes, town's fully funded the project. And as far as I know, I think last time we reported the legislator, so okay.
Fantastic, thank you. Just want that on the record. Any other questions?
Yeah, just a quick question, as far as Long Island first, I know, requirement to just post bids, give every local contractors an opportunity to, bid and see what's going on. I know Fieldstone, I think, did put something out there. So just,
It did.
make sure you're aware of it and.
Yes, I know they're very attuned to it and are very enthusiastically want to embrace this project and the program, I should say.
If memory serves me correctly, there was one portion of the job that they did have to outsource out of state, am I correct?
You are.
Yeah, I think it's steel.
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 Right.
Well, so long as that's the only exception,
Yeah, I mean, the Beechwood organization has a very good reputation for using all local people.
Okay, is there a motion to accept? Okay, Brian is making the motion. Kevin is seconding. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any noes or abstentions? Is approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Great,
you.
thank you, Dan.
536 Broad Hollow.
So again, we're making a request for a final resolution for a lease transaction. We do have Guy Germano available via Zoom. Can you guys bring him up? There he is. Sarah, if you have a question for Guy.
Hi, Guy. How are you?
Good, thank you.
I don't know if you can hear him.
Guy, can you say your name just so we can see if we can hear you?
It's Guy Germano. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Great. So Guy Germano is with Germano and Kate Hill.
Great.
Watch Stranger Things.
Give the crown.
Oh, I love that show.
Technology.
There we go.
Okay, fantastic. Just a question to confirm that the town and local legislators on board and in support of this project.
Well, the town they've approved, the town has approved the site plan, and we're just waiting to get approval for the building permit. I have not spoken with the local legislator. I assume he wouldn't have a problem with industry in the town.
Any questions from the board?
Just one quick question, and I know we talked a little bit about the, building on spec for these kind of projects, and Kelly did share a report. It's a few years old, but it did raise some, concern about the saturation of this type of buildings on Long Island, and we still seeing, these getting filled up quickly. I know, every IDA is approving a lot of these warehousing type projects, seeing them all over Long Island. Is there any indication at this point that, there's issues with finding tenants to fill all this space? Talking about millions of square feet at this point.
I don't think, don't forget, this is a replacement of an existing warehouse that was functionally and otherwise obsolete, falling down. Actually, until the building was falling down, never had a problem filling it. So we anticipate, and it's not that much larger, it's somewhat larger, but it's still a much smaller building than the large buildings you're talking about. This is under 100,000 square feet. So we don't anticipate giving the location, and the fact that this wasn't, there was an existing warehouse there for many, 60 years or so. We don't anticipate that there will be a problem leasing it up once it's built with IDA assistance.
Okay.
Great. Any other questions by the board? Okay, seeing no other questions, is there a motion and a second?
Motion.
Motion by Chris, is there a second?
Sorry.
Second by Brian, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any noes or abstentions? Okay.
Thank you very
PPT.
much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Guy.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
PPT.
So PPT, this is, I'm going to ask Andrew to speak a little bit about the resolution being presented today for PPT management.
Sure, thank you. The resolution in front of the board is the culmination of several discussions on PPP's situation, particularly their reduced use of the facility and reduced employment. At the last board meeting, there was an executive session where the board did not take any action, and what was reported out of executive session is that the board directed the executive director to work with the company and to try to come up with an acceptable settlement of the matter. Staff presented an option to the company that is acceptable to the company, and that is what's described in this resolution. Under this solution, the employment requirement at the facility would be brought down to 120 employees. The company would be required to pay full taxes with respect to the facility going forward. And the little nuance here is under the pilot, we will reduce the portion of the facility that they are actually using. So that portion will pay 100% of what's equivalent to taxes with respect to that portion. The remainder of the facility is no longer part of the IDA project, and therefore it will be required to pay full taxes in the ordinary course. And lastly, the company will be required to pay 1/3 of what would have been the recapture amount, which is a dollar amount equal to $100,097.50. The ongoing obligation of the company through what was to be the original term of the straight lease is to maintain the employment at that 120%. And to the extent there is any, they'll obviously be required to continue to report employment to the IDA in the ordinary course. And if that employment drops below the required level, then there will be a termination and the recapture of the full remaining 2/3 of the recapture amount.
So they have to keep 120 jobs.
That is correct. For until 2035, which would have been the original duration of the lease. And if they drop below that, again, that will be a recapture event. At that point, the board can reconsider, how the board would proceed, but under the existing documents, the agency would have the ability to require the entire remaining 2/3 of that recapture amount to be paid without any further reduction of that amount. So in other words, in our normal documents, there is a reduction over time. That reduction disappears as part of this settlement. 1/3 is paid up front, and upon any future default, the remaining 2/3 would be due.
Yes.
So yeah, I know the big issue with this also was the fact that, employees were starting to work remotely and.
Right.
So how are we going to ensure that these 120 employees are living here?
So in the documents that we are preparing, there is a certification that all of those 120 employees for payroll purposes report to this facility.
So they're just gonna certify it,
That is correct, and we can go, you know,
Yeah, one of the ways we do that is by requiring what's called the New York State 45. It's how we report our compliance to New York State through Paris every year, is requiring that document because it shows all of the employees that are on payroll in New York.
so they're paying your payroll.
that is correct. And they would have to continue to provide that certification, well, the submission of the 45
Annual.
annually as they do their annual reporting to the IDA.
Okay, so they're gonna certify it, we're gonna confirm they're paying your payroll tax.
Yeah.
Beyond that, there's not a whole lot we can do to confirm that they're living here, spending money here, right,
Right.
so.
Brian,
Just what, Josh asked one of my questions, if they were to fall below the 120 that you described, is the agreement that we've proposed or are working on, is it an automatic recapture or would it require an additional act by?
So it is a recapture event under the documents, and therefore without any further action of the board, the staff of the agency can, you know, upon, you know, there's usually a lag, right? Because we received that report in February, so for the prior year. So at that point, under the documents, the agency would have the ability to send a recapture notice. What happens in reality, I could see a company, you know, responding to that notice and asking to come in front of the agency and make that case for a further change. Say they are not at 120, but at 118, they may ask the agency to reconsider, but recapturing at that point would not take any further action.
And
by the board.
I hope this company is successful and continues to do exactly what we've proposed here. But with other companies that we've talked about recapture events, I know some of the folks on your side have advised us that sometimes this is a difficult proposition. So is there anything in here that where this company acknowledges that they will have to pay if, because I know in some places, absent of bankruptcy, we've had lots of folks saying, I will, I won't, I will, I won't. So I don't know if I'm asking a good.
No, I think it is a very good question. So I think, you know, although it's not a written policy of the agency, but council have recently studied adding guarantees to transaction documents. Because this is an existing older transaction, we did not include a guarantee at this time in this settlement. If the board would desire to do that, you know, we could add that to the package. That was not something that we discussed with the applicants at that point. I would note that they have been transparent and available to discussions throughout the process.
Thank you.
I actually do one more follow-up. I don't know, you know, if there's a way to even track this, but, you know, say someone's working remotely from Colorado, they're receiving a paycheck, New York taxes are coming out of that paycheck, they report to us that they're paying those taxes, but then I go and I file my personal income tax, and I claim all those taxes back because I'm not living in New York. Is there any way to see that that's happening, or is it just at this point, you know, they're certifying it, we're gonna have to trust it?
Is that possible?
So Josh, I can probably help you there because my company has folks in a bunch of states. If you are a company and you file that somebody's working in New York and they're not, there's culpability on the part of the company. And then the employee certainly has a bit of a headache because now they have to claim to get them back. It's similar to what folks do with the city. They get income tax multiple times. So it is, what you're saying is absolutely possible, but would also require either ignorance or outright doing the wrong thing on behalf of a company to do that. And it's not in their best interest because if they're in Colorado, the taxes the company would have to pay are probably lower than what they're paying here in New York. So I don't know if that's the answer, but we dealt with that because sometimes people make mistakes and you charge people the wrong taxes.
any other questions? Okay, seeing none, is there an agreement to proceed with this resolution?
Make a motion.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Josh, seconded by Kevin. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any noes or abstentions? Okay, next item is minutes. We have minutes from the last meeting that were circulated in advance of the meeting. Is there a motion to approve? I'll make a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Kevin. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any noes or abstentions? Minutes are approved. Kelly,
Um,
next item,
Great, so under
other.
I'm looking for an authorization to allow me to hire an administrative coordinator, which we have been advertising for on LinkedIn very recently and may also advertise for on Indeed. We had this discussion that timing, especially with the way meetings are happening and with people giving notice, the agency has been running short staffed for quite some time, and we are, the good news is we're actually quite busy, and we have a whole lot going on, so we need to get some folks in here as quick as we can. So I'm just looking for that authorization under your fiduciary responsibility, so that I don't have to wait for another meeting to bring that person in.
Great, and just to clarify, you have not found someone yet?
I have not.
Okay. Any questions on this? Yes.
Just for the board's consideration, do you want to put a not to exceed or set a parameter of a dollar amount authorizing the director to hire?
I would set this up in our budget.
Great, so why don't we do it not to exceed, at 95,000?
Could we have this in our budget?
Yes, there's plenty of room for payroll in the budget.
Well, we had prior positions that are no longer filled. What was their salary set for those? And this would be a different position, obviously, right? So-
And it's very contingent upon the type of skills this person would come in with. So yes, the administrative director position was 130,000. There was marketing and PR, which was around 100,000. You know, we've discovered we don't need a full-time marketing and PR person. So I am hopeful that I can find somebody with the skills who can oversee those activities as well as act as an assistant. You know, we participate in a lot of conferences and on panels. I visit a lot of clients. We have site visits. We have incredibly increased amount of compliance reporting that's required. And that's a skill that I am certain I can teach somebody who has the right skill set. So my hope would be that it would be a pretty high level position and a very diverse one, because what we do is changes every day. So we've kind of seen it. That's why we chose the title administrative coordinator, because it really encompasses a variety of things.
Any other questions from the board?
I just have one other,
Yes.
just also that would include a benefits package that is commensurate with what the other staff receives.
Yes, good point, Bill. It does.
Okay, so then we would amend the authorization to add that not to exceed amount, if that's acceptable with the board? That
So
the-
95,000 goal.
Yeah. Okay, I'll make a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Josh. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next is, as we did with the EDC, we have completed our annual financial reporting for 142 of our clients. So we are ready to submit that through the Paris system for New York State for a timely submission. So we're just looking for authorization from the board to do so. Again, those reports are available for review. That's just double-sided. If anybody's really bored, in case.
So that's just the status of all 142 active Suffolk County IDA project.
It is.
It shows the pilots receive pay and the status of jobs comparison to what they originally promised.
Annual payroll, and the other thing that we do that is not required by New York State laws, we ask that they submit local vendor expenditures as per the Long Island First policy. So, and that's taken several years to get everybody to comply with that. But we are probably at about 95% compliance, I think. When we started, it was somewhere around 20. We look for a list of the companies in the local market area, which is Nassau and Suffolk County, and we look for an aggregate amount. We used to just get reams of paper, and it was, you know. So our hope would be, once we have some more assistance in the office, that we could aggregate that number and present that to you.
That's actually a good thing to keep for the summary end of the year review,
Great idea.
which, you know, can support the IDA's mission in the fact that we now have tried, we basically have compliance with regard to the ancillary businesses that are affected by the businesses we approve forward for the rebate. So I think something that the staff to consider.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right, because when we look at these, we look at the construction jobs, and then we look at the permanent jobs, and we look at and we often hear about the economic impact of, like, the hotel. It's a massive project, so there's gonna be tons of construction jobs, but what are they buying consistently from the promotional company or the paper company or whatever it may be? And that number of the incremental impact is certainly something that would be nice to know and probably brag about.
Yes, and we do know it, we haven't aggregated it and presented it to you yet, but we will certainly put that together. But that's a great idea to include it in the summary. I love that.
Maybe that's something the administrative coordinator can work on.
Exactly. I have a list of projects.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll make a motion to direct staff to authorize submission of the annual report. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Chris. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any noes or abstentions? That's approved. Now I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session to specifically discuss proposed pending or current litigation, as well as personnel matters. Motion, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Who would keep
We
it?
are in executive session.
Who would keep it?
Yeah.
Billy?
Motion to come out of executive session, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Chris, all those in favor?
Aye.
We're now back on the record.
If they're on.
Yeah,
Are they
they
up
are.
there? Okay.
Bill, do you want to summarize,
Sure.
executive session?
Yes, the board voted to go into executive session. In executive session, we discussed two topics. The first was litigation, wherein no action was taken. The second involved employee employment, and it was, I believe, there's going to be a resolution to appoint Kelly Murphy to the position of Executive Director, Chief Executive Officer of the Suffolk County IDA and the Suffolk County EDC, and the salary to be paid by the Suffolk County IDA will be $180,000 per annum with the benefits package commensurate to which she has now.
Thank you for that summary. Now that we are back on the record, is there a motion to appoint Kelly as Executive Director of both the IDA and the EDC? Motion by Chris, second. Second by Josh, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any noes or abstentions? It's passed. Congratulations.
I would like to thank the board for your faith and confidence in my abilities and allowing me to continue to serve in a job that I absolutely love and will continue to make you proud.
Thank you. Thank you for your service.
Oh,
Congratulations. Okay,
I do have one last reminder. Hopefully everybody has received their financial disclosure. That is due on May 15th, so just a reminder.
I have my team working on it.
May 16th. Great. May 16th is our next board meeting.
I don't think my portfolio is,
fantastic. Okay, I will make a motion to adjourn the meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Kevin, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion, meeting is adjourned. Thank you.